The long-awaited trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is finally here, and fans of the franchise have left no stone unturned in uncovering the promo's details. Early on in the trailer, we see the trio of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles in some quick action shots, and one of them will certainly stand out to longtime franchise fans. In it, Knuckles appears to leap off Big Ben and glide through the air with flaming fists. It may look a bit unnatural to see an echidna capable of flying, but Sonic fans know this to be one of Knuckles' iconic powers. Knuckles' gliding move dates back to 1994's Sonic and Knuckles, the first game in which he was a playable character. It's a way for him to traverse stages while attacking enemies in mid-air. His levels in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 were based around this mechanic, as Knuckles navigated larger, more puzzle-centric courses in search of Master Emerald shards. While this moment will catch the eyes of Knuckle fans, it also promises something new, as there's no variant of the move in the games where Knuckles' fists are set ablaze. While Knuckles' punching moves have been known to summon explosive fire in some games, and the character even uses fiery moves like this in the previous film, these flying fire fists are a new development. Many fans correctly predicted that the introduction of Shadow the Hedgehog would bring with it one of the most tragic backstories of the Sonic franchise. As revealed in Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow is a creation of the military organization Gun's Project Shadow, an experiment by Gerald Robotnik to create the ultimate life form. Shadow became close with Gerald's granddaughter Maria, but she was unfortunately shot dead while trying to help Shadow escape from the space colony Ark. Despite the storyline being quite dark, fans were nonetheless excited to see Maria briefly appear in the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. She's portrayed by Lila Brown, whom you might recognize from having played a young Anya Taylor-Joy in Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Given the presence of Gun in the previous film, as well as Project Shadow being referenced in its mid-credits scene, it seems that Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is setting up to keep Shadow's backstory the same in the new film.
Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog.
There was a lot of speculation regarding who would be cast to play Gerald Robotnik, the grandfather of Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Some names thrown out there included Christopher Lloyd, Willem Dafoe, and J.K. Simmons, but the end result is probably the best choice that could have been made. In the trailer, Carrey's Robotnik wanders through an abandoned lab before reuniting with his grandfather, who's played by Jim Carrey himself. Design-wise, this isn't a huge departure from the look of Gerald Robotnik in the games. The character has often been depicted as an older, grayer version of Dr. Eggman, which Carrey seems to have adopted for this double role. What's more surprising is that it's a big diversion from the character's in-game fate, in that Gerald went insane after the death of Maria and vowed revenge on humanity before he was ultimately imprisoned and executed. It's pretty surprising to see Carrey in the film at all, considering the actor said he'd be retiring from acting during press for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. However, it seems that not even the promise of a peaceful retirement can keep the actor away from a fun role, or a fun couple of roles for that matter. Getting a first look at Shadow the Hedgehog in action has a lot of fans of the video game franchise excited to see the character's iconic moves on the big screen. However, only eagle-eyed Sonic fans will have noticed one brief moment in the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer where the character does his signature skate technique as he runs across water, in a style very reminiscent of the character's movements in the games. While Sonic has been seen running over water for brief periods of time in the past, Shadow's method of traversing a body of water appears much more graceful. However, neither Shadow nor Sonic have been known to walk on water for extended periods of time, with large bodies of water even being hazards for Sonic and his friends. If this trailer is to be believed, Shadow's ability to skate across water with no trouble signifies that this iteration of the character is much stronger in ways fans of Sonic have yet to see. This isn't the only detail from the trailer where Shadow's shoes are in focus. During one confrontation with Sonic, Shadow lifts the hedgehog into the air using his air shoes, which the character has frequently used to hover in mid-air and fly throughout the game series.
Project Shadow is far beyond anything we've ever encountered.
Another blink and you'll miss it moment from the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer doesn't reference the Sonic franchise at all, but instead pays homage to one of the most iconic moments in anime history. During the chase sequence where Shadow is riding a motorcycle, he slides while turning his vehicle in a very particular fashion. The move seems to be directly taken from the 1988 animated Japanese film Akira, in which the camera is framed so that the film's protagonist, Kaneda, smoothly rides in from below frame and stops at the top of it as sparks emanate from his motorcycle. Referencing the move isn't exactly a unique Easter egg in film history, as countless other films and animated shows have imitated it. What makes this one particularly special is that Shadow voice actor Keanu Reeves almost played Kaneda in a live-action Hollywood remake of Akira. This Easter egg is also not exactly unique in terms of the Sonic the Hedgehog film franchise, given that the previous films have referenced pop culture quite a lot. Having Shadow reenact this small detail from Akira also helps pay tribute to the Sonic franchise's Japanese origins, given that the film franchise has thus far been very catered to Western audiences.
Howdy, partner!
Hopefully, Shadow's Akira slide looks just as good on the big screen as it does in this trailer, as many fans will be excited to see it for themselves when the film releases. Much of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is clearly going to revolve around fully introducing Shadow the Hedgehog to the Sonic movie universe, even though the ending of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 first teases his debut. So it stands to reason that the film is going to draw heavily from the video game where Shadow originated, Sonic Adventure 2. Near the end of the trailer, when Sonic and Shadow clash, they spin together into the graphic that sits behind the movie's title. Looking like a classic Sonic spin dash with a black and orange bottom half, it bears more than a slight resemblance to the graphic that it's formed around from the Sonic Adventure 2 title image. Lest there be any doubt that Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is directly inspired by Sonic Adventure 2, the connection between the two is going to be made obvious right from the former's title screen. It's clear that Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is going pretty hard on referencing not just Sonic Adventure 2, but its predecessor as well. The first core Sonic game to take the Hedgehog into polygonal, fully 3D worlds, Sonic Adventure represented a new era for the franchise's gameplay and characters alike. Among the new allies that joined Sonic in the first game were the Chao. These cute little creatures mostly just served as the basis for a minigame at first, but would soon become an ever-present feature in future games, and almost every other form of Sonic except for the movies. However, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is going to rectify that. At one point in the trailer, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are attacked by missiles while enjoying a stage show of some kind. That show features what look to be life-size animatronic Chao singing and dancing on a stage. It's unclear whether we'll see actual Chao in the movie or if their appearance will consist entirely of the single scene, but the creatures are still primed for their big screen debut either way. Sonic games went through a rough patch in the 2000s after the release of Sonic Adventure 2, struggling not only with the third dimension, but also just having a general identity crisis. Thanks in part to the huge success of the Grand Theft Auto series, the mid-2000s saw games as a whole get especially edgy and adult, and numerous franchises tried to fit into that trend with mixed results.
Who am I? And why can't I remember anything?
For the Sonic franchise, that manifested as Shadow's first and thus far only true solo game outing, 2005's Shadow the Hedgehog. Featuring the titular character delivering mild expletives and using guns, Shadow the Hedgehog earned a rare T for teen rating for a Sonic franchise game. Critical reception was mixed, and fans weren't entirely sold on the focus on third-person shooting, but the game did sell well. There's no denying that the game is an important one for Shadow and his story, and there are various indications that Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is also going to draw from various elements of Shadow the Hedgehog. For example, the motorcycle Shadow rides in the trailer was a concept first introduced in Shadow the Hedgehog. Elements from the Sonic Adventure games were already present in the Sonic the Hedgehog movies prior to the upcoming third installment. A notable example of this is the Guardian Units of Nations, or GUN, a task force that was put together for battling the kinds of threats that traditional law enforcement and military organizations proved unequipped to handle. GUN made its live-action film debut in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but it has been a part of Sonic media since, you guessed it, Sonic Adventure 2. There's a blink and you'll miss it moment in the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 3 that sees James Marsden's Tom Wachowski lying on the floor and screaming Sonic's name while wearing a gun uniform. Whether he has joined the organization or was just posing as a gun agent in some sort of undercover infiltration is unclear, but both seem equally plausible. Either way, making a point to show Tom in a gun uniform was no doubt meant to get the gears of fan speculation turning. Given that it was built by Gerald Robotnik and was where Shadow was created, it was perhaps a foregone conclusion that we'd see the space colony Ark show up in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Since its debut in Sonic Adventure 2, the Ark has not only played a story role in numerous Sonic games, it has also served as a popular locale in which to set levels. So it's cool to see that it's going to figure heavily in the third live-action Sonic the Hedgehog film. There wasn't enough context in the scenes in the trailer that show Shadow escaping from the machinery that birthed him to definitively place the action within the Ark, but the Ark being present in the movie is cemented later in the trailer when it's shown rising from a river. The Ark is shown in several more quick shots in the trailer, including a moment that sees a clearly scared Tails flying away from it. There's little doubt that Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is going to have at least two epic action climaxes, one being a physical battle with Shadow himself, and the other consisting of the Ark needing to be stopped. Thus far, the Sonic the Hedgehog movies have introduced Sonic's main villains in the same order they debuted in the games. First Robotnik, then Knuckles, and now Shadow. However, one major Sonic villain that predates both Shadow and Knuckles has been skipped over. That character is Metal Sonic, who debuted in 1993's Sonic CD, which was released for Sega's ill-fated Sega CD platform. Created by Robotnik, Metal Sonic has proven to be a formidable adversary to Sonic. He has matched and even surpassed Sonic's speed on occasion, made possible through a power gem that Robotnik installed in him. While this is a bit more speculative than most of the other entries in this list, it is possible that Robotnik could create a Metal Sonic in the film universe via one of Sonic's quills. This is backed up by a small moment in the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer. As part of the deal for Robotnik to help Sonic and friends take on Shadow, the scientist seems to demand one of Sonic's quills.
We need your help.
On one condition.
It's possible that he asked for a quill for a future creation, and Metal Sonic would make an ideal big bad for a fourth Sonic movie. Not to mention the time travel themes of Sonic CD would in turn be a fun gimmick to build the sequel around.